I'm good. I'm ready.
What's up, everybody? And thank you for joining us on this episode of All in the Delivery, episode number 36. And we're just continuing to do new things, right? Last week, we added the new segment. This week, we decided to cut the intro back a little bit. Just cut it down a little bit. It was a little lengthy, It was like that big black, last week, right? Was that good? Okay.
Man, what a first
Okay.
way to fucking introduce that.
It was a little lengthy, all right? It was like 45 seconds, now it's back to I can't focus. Luke's right above me on the Zoom call, slapping his ass off. And now, we shortened it down to it's like 15 seconds. Because, the song is cool and all, but, you guys want to get to the good stuff. And we too want to get to the good stuff. So, so here we are. So, guys, listen, we're just trying a whole bunch of new stuff out, okay? And we hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, we got great feedback from the new segment, all that. So we're going to continue just to keep rolling along, all right? So, guys, without further ado, let me introduce to you my co-host. That's right, you know him, down in West by God, Virginia. I'm gonna have too much fun with this.
Fuck.
There it is, guys, because I know everybody wanted to hear it. Luke, how's it going, buddy?
They finally censored me. Finally figured it out. Yeah.
They're on to us.
No, I'm good. This was this was a very, it's been a long few weeks. I've got a record now of grievance checks coming, third in a row, and it's been it's been busy, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this weekend. I cut grass. I willed myself to cut the grass this morning because I was just I didn't want to do shit. But yeah, it's been a rough one, not gonna lie, but onward and upward.
Yeah. And I mean, like I've been on that 9-5 list, and it's been a little rough. 9-5 really hasn't been happening at all. But I had to say something to my shop steward, and he got it done. And props to him. And I had the last 2 days have been great. So can't thank him enough for that, because I want to go out there, get it done, get home, see the family. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be out late delivering.
I'll say more for me. I was honestly going to get off the 9-5 list because personally, I think I fucking hate it. I think it's kind of bullshit anyway, for the most part, and I'm not afraid to say that. But it, the reasoning behind it was it had a good purpose, and it's still, But I feel like, I don't know. It's one of those things that people like. But right now I could get into that, and I don't really want to, because that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, we're so busy that they're not really caring right now. So there's no reason for me to get off of it, because it would be like I could stay on it, and they're not worried about, they're not worried about honoring it. So that's just turning down free money. So yeah, I'm gonna stay on so I can get grievance checks. Sure. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'll get off of it one day, but right now, yeah, I'm like, why not? I mean, they're not gonna. Everybody else is doing it.
Everybody else is doing it. Shit. Yeah, no, but that's I hear you, dude. I hear you. But other than that, though, the week was pretty good, and I mean, we had some fun conversations, I would say, right? This past week.
Oh yeah.
Nate, oh my goodness. So for those of you that don't know Nate is doing the audio editing and stuff like that behind the scenes. He got a bad dog bite recently. So sending him our best, obviously, and for his hand, and recovering there, and needed some stitches and whatnot. So
come here and let me see you. When come here and let me see you goes wrong,
That should be a video. You should do that.
I
Hashtag when come
mean,
here, let me
you
see it
know,
goes
it's
wrong.
just one of those things. It's you know, I've always I've practiced. You know, I always say to keep, and I'm not saying, you know, from what I know with Nate, it did catch him off guard. But for all the drivers out there, if you have a dog that's approaching you, if you keep your, I mean, because sometimes, you know, I think of like where I'm from, because sometimes in areas where I'm at, dogs just fucking run roughshod. It doesn't, you know, there's not, they don't have an electric fence. They're not on a, you know, they're just roaming. And sometimes you can't really, there's situations you find yourself just, no matter what, keep your hands in a fist. That's the only thing I can say is keep your hands in a fist, because sometimes, I mean, there's been times, and I'll say this with me, and this is me being dumb, so don't do what I do, you know, because normally if I would see a dog and I'm in a spot where, because I refuse to ever run from them, because I was like, they'll catch me and I'm not gonna, this is gonna sound stupid, but I literally have thought to myself, like, I'm not gonna be run from a dog and some asshole record me and just see it maul me and then just be, that's literally like, if I you know, if I can't get away from it. But to keep your hand, I would go up to pet dogs if I would come across them, and if they're suspect, I've said this before, if they're suspect, I wouldn't approach them. Never. If they're in a fence, I'm not going in, and nobody should. But some, like, so there's been times like where they've been just out and they sneak up or whatever. If you're like trying to be calm, then just you know, to reach out, if you're going to try to pet them or just to feel it out, if you're in that kind of situation, just keep your hand in a fist, because you could very easily lose a finger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah. Yeah. When come here, let me see it goes wrong.
Dude, I mean, yeah, and there's really not like, and I can't act like it's like I'm some type of fucking like wrangler out there, because I do like, a lot of stuff on Instagram. People like, that one dog, the one that I always call Big Bubba, his real name is
Mhm.
Ripken, and like when you look at an IG story, like it looks like I'm right up in that dog shit, and I kind of am, but like I'm standing below to where I know he isn't jumping, because it's a long ass jump. And it's kind of, it's still not, but you know, yeah, for the, just, it's a weird thing, because that is also, and I don't want to keep digging too much into this, Dave, but I think you'll know where I'm going with what happened with Nate. So this is another thing with that one account that I always say that they never get in trouble for.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
We don't have to get into it, but
Nope.
people, you probably can figure out what I'm saying with the dog bite. And yeah, so that's just an example right there. That it's like, you know, that's picking and choosing, and that's all the further I'll divulge into that.
It's true. And listen, we're about to talk about another dog right here on this segment. This one is called Getting the Big Picture. So, picture this. Picture this. All right. Our good friend, you've heard his name mentioned many times already on this podcast. All right. Tony Cook. Rumor has it they named their dog Nomad. So, Luke, Nomad himself, how do you feel?
I mean, if this is 100% true, I think it's fucking awesome, and I hope it becomes a trend, because I would love nothing more to just see an army of animals named Nomad, and one day just corral them all to come here and let me see all of them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, because I don't think it was it was Trish, Tony's wife, that messaged me that. I don't know. I think she could have been rib. It might have been a joke. I don't know. If it wasn't, I think it's awesome. If it was, the thought of it would still be awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because I'm a dog lover, so yeah, man, that would be an absolute honor, and I think yeah, to be named, to have anything named, shit, yeah, I think that'd be rad if that is true,
Fucking rights.
right?
Like, Come here, Nomad. Come here, Nomad.
I mean, it would
Awesome.
be funny to like. I would have to ask Tony because like it would be like when somebody would say, "Why'd you, like if they did say nomad?" Like I'm curious, like why, like what? Because I like with the way that I talk, especially on my account, like some videos or bit, I've got some pretty fucking uh I mean, don't not give a fuck, so to speak, videos on Facebook. Not really as much anymore now. I got a lot of reels more with animals lately, but they're on there. It says right on the profile page, if the word fuck offends you, just keep scrolling. And fuck's even censored. So I do it with class. but but I'm curious, Tony, that but if Tony asks you nomad, do you tell them that you named it? Because like I'm saying, like what if it's like your
Mm.
say if you got like an aunt or like an older relative that might not be what would you, I mean, just I mean, because I mean, I guess if they're an older relative, they're probably not on Instagram anyway, and you don't have to worry about them looking up shit. But that would be like one thing, like I always think with like there's only one person. There's one person in this world that and that's my grandmother. Other than her, I don't care. She's literally the only person that's not allowed to hear what I say. Or anybody else, yeah, you can tell anybody out. It's this guy. And he says fuck a lot.
Oh, dude, speaking of that, your grandma's back in town now. That's awesome after being away for a few months.
Yes,
Have
yes.
you seen her yet or no? Or you see her
No,
tomorrow?
no, I haven't. I'm either gonna go down tomorrow or I'm gonna go down the following, or at least sometime during the week. I didn't because I didn't get home pretty much. They got back on Wednesday night, and Wednesday
Nice.
and Thursday I didn't get home till like 10:30. And
Yep.
then last night I was in bed by 9. I didn't really I didn't see him today because I didn't do. I mean, I cut the grass and I just caught up on sleeping. Because I'll say this, I don't know how it is for other drivers, but I can't it's hard for me to wind down
Mm.
when when I get off late like that and I work late and I come home. It takes me always at least a few hours. Like I can't just come home and go to lay down. Like 2 or 3 hours I just need because I feel like I don't know if it's just in my mind, and I don't know, Dave, we work the same job. You may be able to answer. Like, if you get home late, like late, and it's just like I feel like if
Yeah.
you just go right to
You're still
bed,
wired.
yeah, you're still wired.
Yeah.
And then if you go to bed, if you go to sleep, like it's almost like a waste. It's like literally like if you get out home late and go to bed right then, you wake up and you go back to work. You're like, man, I literally just. It's like in my head to not do
Fuck.
it. So yeah, those last 2 nights I didn't sleep worth a shit, and I probably, I don't want to say how many hours of sleep I got because
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
want anybody DOTing me seeing this, but it wasn't that many. So yeah, I was
Yeah, we'll leave
tired.
it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. And uh so also we also got to mention too, guys, that there was some sad news that came out of Indiana, and that's the shooting that happened at the FedEx facility out there in Indiana. And obviously we wish everybody the best down there. We give our thoughts and condolences to the families that were affected by that. 9 people were killed, and that's also including the gunman, who is actually a 19-year-old former employee.
I saw that he was a
Yeah,
former
and
employee.
7 others were also injured, including 4 by gunfire as well. So just hang in there, guys. It's very, very, very sad to see
And
and
that
hear about.
was and that was one thing too. Like when I went to bed Thursday night, because that happened on Friday night. Or no,
Mm,
that happened Thursday night. Sorry. That happened Thursday night.
yep,
And
April 15th.
and I and that's one of those things too, because and you don't ever expect things like that when they happen, and how but I was sitting there. I went to bed that night, and I mentioned this on my IG stories. Like I went to bed that night mad because I'd gotten home late and was working, and like I wasn't, I won't say that I wasn't like really at the point, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself or anything. It just was like I was kind of just disgruntled.
Mm.
And then I woke up and saw that, and it's just like I always say, like stuff always will put things in perspective, and I just like it's like it just it's there's not really a whole lot you can say. You just man, it's tragic, and yeah, you just want their families and their friends, anybody close to them. Just we wish them all the most peace and comfort that it finds you, and yeah, it's a tough situation.
That's right. Good vibes. So I was sending you guys good vibes for sure. And also, now moving on, guys, from that, uh, one thing that Luke and I were actually talking about over the phone this past week. I don't even remember how it even got brought up, but I was like, hey, you know what? We should talk about this because everybody deals with this out there on the road. Okay. And that's bad weather. And somehow we got on the topic of tornadoes. And, we don't get many tornadoes up here in New York. Obviously, it's not like, Kansas or anything like that. Um, but for some reason recently, we've been getting a lot of tornado watches during the summer times. And last year there was quite a few. And even one year there was even a tornado warning. And like it was at a point when I was actually out there delivering and my phone went off. It's like wah, 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 wah. And it's like tornado in your area, please seek shelter immediately. And I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to seek shelter when I'm out here in this big brown truck? And so this topic came about. And Luke and I just started talking about it, and Luke had a pretty interesting story of his. And I was like, Luke, we got to talk about this on the podcast. So here we are. So Luke, take it away.
Well,
Young,
I like I'm
young,
glad.
young nomad delivering out there.
This was like like year one, like maybe it was if it was, I don't think it was year two. It could have been like year 1.5. It was early. It was early on, and I like Dave said, we were saying because New York and West Virginia, we don't have tornadoes here very often. It's very rare, and so I was telling him about, we always get the watches too, but then I got this warning on the phone of like tornado warning, take shelter now. Like, see, man, like it was, and then like it right then it got bad. Like, I mean, it was like this, it was like I said it was like almost like it was a whiteout, but it was rain. Like I didn't see, there was a tornado in Morgantown. I was delivering in Morgantown then, and I didn't actually see this tornado, but the weather was so bad that like the rain was so hard and it was so windy, you couldn't hear shit. So I had my sound bars blasting. I got both of them linked up, and I've got like brand new Sin August Burns Red, and I'm just fucking rocking. I'm just like I'm delivering through it. I mean, you can't see. It's a fucking, you can barely see anything. So I delivered to this one place, and there's a porch, like so there's like an awning over the roof, and when I delivered, I'd like beat on the door because they saw me pull up, and as I was going to leave, I felt like a restraint. And I turned around, and it was the woman I delivered to was like screaming, like, "What are you doing? You need to," like, because it was so bad out. And she was like, "You need to not blah blah blah." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna fucking I'm rocking." So I'm still, and this goes on for about 15 minutes. And I mean, I make like two more deliveries, and I can't see shit. It's just like, it's so stupid thinking now how dumb this was. But then, so I actually was able to dig up this picture for Dave because I saw a telephone pole get snapped in half. And as soon as I see the telephone pole get snapped in half, obviously the wires and sparks go flying, and I was like, holy shit. So I was like, I went from having like, I said, use a porn fucking lingo here. I said, I went from having like a porn star size dick to like a baby carrot, a baby carrot sized dick real quick because I was like, oh shit, yeah, I think I was like, I think I'm gonna stop delivering now, and I ended up taking shelter and rode it out for like it only lasted for like maybe a little over an hour, but yeah, it was pretty wild. I didn't realize it was an actual tornado. I didn't see it, but that was only like the second one that I can think of in my lifetime that's even been around. But yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, for my situation, when I got that on my phone that said, tornado in your area, please seek shelter immediately. Like the first thing I'm thinking about it is like, okay, where am I gonna go if I see one? You know what I mean? Like, where am I gonna go if I see one out there? Because I'm out there, there's no businesses. It's all resis. Like, am I gonna go to like the first house I see, start banging on the door, like, let me in, or like maybe one of those like what is that, like one of those little water plastic PVC water underground things that like water runs through or something, see if I could go squirm inside one of those things, you know what I mean? Or like under a bridge. Like I don't even think I have any bridges out there on my on my route, or like am I thinking like, all right, I'm on this street right now, so if one comes this way, I know these customers real good, I'm gonna go to their house. Like it's just all this shit that I think about.
Just hold on to the steering wheel as tight as you can. And make sure your diet's plugged into the cradle.
It fucking picks me up. It chucks me like 2 blocks over. If I get back to the building, the boss is like, "What's going on, David? Oh, your Orion's off."
Like Dave, your cradle usage wasn't at 90%. Yes, I saw the truck got flogged by a tornado, but your cradle wasn't damaged. Jesus.
Oh fuck! But anyways, speaking of shit getting flung, listen to this one. Picture this. All right, I was driving home the other day, in the Brownie, both doors open, right? And there's a section when I'm driving back where I go over these railroad tracks, and I go over the tracks. It's this long straightaway, and then maybe just probably about few hundred yards past the railroad tracks, after the straightaway, the road bends to the left and goes uphill a little bit. All right. So I'm cruising home. It's like 7:45, and I got the Rangers game. I got the New York Rangers game streaming on my phone on my Bluetooth speaker, and I'm listening. Rangers are playing good. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Right. And I got my phone in my cup holder. Okay. I go over these railroad tracks quick, and I'm like in the zone as I'm going over top of the tracks. Truck's empty, it's bouncing around and shit as I'm going over the tracks. And I go up, I make the turn, and I start getting up the hill a little bit, and then my Bluetooth cuts out, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I look down for my phone. My phone's not there. I start checking my pockets. I'm like, shit, where? It's like, shit, my phone's not with me. I'm like looking at the dash as I'm driving, bro. And then I just thought, I was like, fuck, I went so fast over those tracks, and that truck was bouncing around. I said, my phone fell out of the fucking truck. It finally happened. My phone fell out of my truck. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing I always think about. I usually throw it on the dash or in the cup holder. And I'm like, one day it'll happen. This is the day. I turn around, I go back down the hill, I go down the straightaway, I'm scanning the shoulder, I'm scanning the middle of the road, looking for my phone, thinking it's going to be in pieces because some car ran over it. I'm looking, I don't fucking see it. And then I get back to the tracks. I'm like, all right, turn around. I turn around, I'm scanning again, I'm going back the way back towards the building. Sure as shit, as I get to that sharp left turn to where it goes up the hill, there's my phone on the shoulder. I'm just out of the truck. I was like, fuck. And I pulled over real quick, hopped out, got it. Bro, not a single crack on my screen, nothing. That case held on for dear life. And
you would think you had an Android. Just saying.
Wow.
Yep.
But yeah, that was that was probably really the craziest thing that happened this past week to me, was when my phone jumped out of my truck.
Yeah, you hit them bumps sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had like I'll have some stuff in the above. You know how above in the truck you can put shit up. Oh yeah, I've hit some bumps and shit come flying
Shoof.
out of there. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah, it'll
worst is when it
move.
falls off and hits you in the shoulder. Like, oh god. That happened to me with a Gatorade bottle once. I put it over top of the door. You know, there's like the little part that some people
Right.
stick the water bottles in there and they fit in there nice. The Gatorade bottles really don't fit too well in there, but they can sit up there. You fuck man, you hit the right bump. That thing's coming down. That thing's gonna hit you in the head or something.
And speaking of right bumps and hitting bumps, the guy we have on this week too with this episode is somebody that
Yes.
fit when you hit a bump real hard. This will be not that people really think about it because but yeah, you'll
Nobody thinks about them for some reason, man.
you'll get to hear the other side.
Mm,
You'll get to hear the other side, the forgotten side.
that's right.
Because all we ever talk about is you hear the management and the driver's side, preload, you hear warehouse, you never hear about the mechanics. Very
Never.
rarely. And it's always never positive. So we mechanics out there, if you're listening, we got you. We represented you. And I think you guys are gonna enjoy this one.
That's right. So, Luke, with that said, let's just get into it, okay? He's ready. He's ready to go.
Oh, I'm
Guys,
good. I'm ready.
here is Greg Tyler. Let's go.
Let's do it.
This interview is brought to you by you guys, our Patreon subscribers. That's right. With our patrons in our corner, we can reach our goals and continue delivering greatness. We would like to thank Tony, Fernando, Andrew, Nate, Max, Clement, Sam, and Ryan for your continued support. And guys, if you want to see what all the buzz is about, go to patreon.com/AITD pod. That's patreon.com/AITDPOD to sign up today. So our guest today is from Charlotte, North Carolina. And guys, he's been with the company for 4 years now and is happily married with 3 kids. Yeah, he works on those brownies that we drive around all day long. All right. He is the first mechanic we've ever had on the show. Guys, please welcome to the show, Greg Tyler. Greg, how are you, man?
Doing good, Dave. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Thank you.
Doing good, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Oh,
The first
not a problem.
mechanic. The first one.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. I said the first mechanic, and I heard him say the term Blue Angels, and which is very catchy because I never heard that, but it makes total sense because of the uniform and stuff. But
Well, I don't want to take credit for it, but a feeder driver that is in our building named Matt Gilbert. He goes by Tattoo. He came up to me one time. He's like, "Man, where's them Blue Angels at?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're in blue, and you come save the day, Blue Angel." I was like, "Got it."
Oh, that's a solid name for mechanics. Oh shit.
well, that's what I wanted to make sure that I got out right off of the bat because I feel like I've seen stuff on, and I'm not singling any one person out. I know people can also have bad days or whatever, but I feel like I haven't seen a lot of mechanics get a lot of love in the our community, so to speak. And I've said, like, right before we started recording, I said the guy that is in our building, we have 2 mechanics in my center, and the one guy's been there he's been there since I've been there, and that I don't know how long I've been there, almost 14 years, and so he's been there a long time, and I've always said he's the most valuable person in that place because makes the wheels on the bus go round and round. And I'll just say this because I'm sure it's probably the same where you're at, because I think people just assume that you have, because it's like this $1 billion corporation, that you just have like unlimited resources, unlimited supplies to do whatever you want.
Our yard's full of odd trucks that never been used.
And I didn't really know this until I talked to our mechanics and started hearing some of the shit they were telling me. I was like, damn. I was like, you would think this is, it's like, it sounds like, I don't want to, I'm just saying, I was like, it sounds like, spit and glue kind of shit. And I'm like, this is a fucking billion-dollar company. But yeah, I was like, not a lot of love.
Honestly, most of the stuff held together with zip ties. You got zip ties and you got rivets. I mean, like you said, it's a lot of spit and glue, to be quite honest. I mean, they say if we write in the DVR, hey, we're going to order the part for the, we're a delivery company. It doesn't happen overnight. It usually takes a week to 2 weeks to get the part in. And we say we were going to get, we were going to order yesterday. It's not going to be here today. It's going to be here in like a week and a half.
Right.
It's true. That's awesome. Well, I know we're excited for this one because just like Luke said too, like you guys, well, the way I look at it, okay, is at first I originally thought like, oh, like the guys that are delivering, we're like the last line of defense for like the company. If you think about it, I think you guys are like if those trucks ain't running, ain't nobody getting their shit.
Oh yeah, they don't care. It's when's it gonna be up? When's it gonna be up? Because I mean, you think about it, we're the only area of the business inside the company that actually doesn't make any money. We cost money constantly. So
that's a good point. I never looked at it like that.
What it takes, when's it gonna be up? Because it needs to be out making money.
I have never thought of it that way, dude. That's a very interesting and very true perspective because, yeah, like anytime you would talk to them, they're probably automatically pissed off already because they know it's going to cost money. God, I never thought of that. Damn.
That's pretty good.
Well, that was like we've had I think. Like I said, we've had the one guy, his name is JD, and he's been there since I've been there. And other than him, I think there's been like 3 guys over that period of time, and they've all been pretty solid. I mean, I feel like the last guy, I hated to see him go. He took another job somewhere. I mean, he literally just left. He put his 2 weeks notice in, but he was solid. And I did like, so I had something happen. Like I'm one of those guys that if something, I don't want to say like minor, like if it's just like if something falls out, I don't like if something doesn't need wrote up. If it's something minor, I could just be like, hey man, if it's a quick fix kind of shit, like if we get to it, I'm kind of one of those guys, you know what I mean? So I've always been good, and they've always helped me out because they normally would give me the trucks that people would bitch about to see if they were really shitty because I would drive anything, especially when I covered all the time. So I would get the biggest clunker pieces of shit we had. And
yeah, we call those struggle buggies.
Yeah.
Struggle buggies.
That's what you get. That's what you get if you really piss off the mechanics and they're like, oh, you write it up 4 or 5 times. It's like,
red tag it.
There's nothing I can do about it. I'm like, oh, well, this and that. Like, okay, give that guy a struggle buggy. He'll be glad to get his truck back.
See, and that was like, there was a time because even when I was kind of in the area that I do now, it wasn't technically a bid route then. So it wasn't, I was covering it then, but I was covering it probably 85. I probably covered it 85% of that year. And so I was in this same truck, and that guy was telling, like, it was leaking. It leaked oil so bad. And I wrote it up the first time. So I filled it up. And when I'm doing a pre-trip, I'm just seeing this shit it's just falling out like a waterfall. It's a struggle bus among other things. So when I ask about it, I'm like, man, is there nothing else? And they literally said, it was like, we can't red tag anything, or we can't say anything's red tag. So he said, you're literally going to it's just going to have to drive this thing till the engine blows up. I'm watching oil pour out of this thing. So it's dry, dude. It is bone dry. And for 4 fucking days, that truck ran before it finally fucking kicked. And I just was sitting there. Every day I just would look and I was like, man, it's today the day. And finally, it finally blew. And it literally, that's what he told me. He's like, you're just going to have to do that because they're just going to keep sending you out with it until you blow the engine.
Especially Pete, man, their big thing is no brown down. So, we may be in there 10, 12, 14 is his max we can work for the same thing you guys DOT. But I mean, we've been there with 5 guys pulling a transmission out and putting a transmission in less than 2 hours, and we're all over there, all supposed to have already left. It's like, I don't care what it takes, it needs to be done. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are times of the year where we can have them down, red tags, I mean, stuff like that. But around peak time between October and 1st of January, that's definitely a no go.
And that's what I mean. So
you're saying that you can oil the whole time, just keep pumping them in there.
So yeah, just think about. I'll say this to you, Dave, and to everybody listening. Just think about that. So you're not allowed. So I'm trying to put this in a way for especially the package car people to understand. I don't even know how I would even describe it. Like trying to empty a shelf and just seeing it regenerate. Like I don't know if it would be like it's like don't red tag anything. But you can't. We're not going to give you much leeway to use anything. Like use minimal shit and make sure this thing runs. It's like God. I mean, that really. You want to talk about two wrongs making a right there, or what they're saying? Jesus, but yeah, man. I'm just like I said before. So I know Dave. This is normally I'll go ahead and ask since I'm rolling with it. How did you get started when you said it was 4 years ago? So how did that come about?
Well, let's see. I'll go back a little before 4 years ago. So I've been a mechanic since 2000. I worked at independent shop. I worked at Toyota. I worked at CarMax for the longest period. I worked there for 10 years. And then just got tired of the politics and stuff like that. And ended up talking to my dad, and he said, hey, there's retiring. And I'd already worked previous to this. I don't know if I told you about it, but from 96 to 99, I worked there, packaging, just loading trucks or whatever. Sorry, just as a company.
Right. No, you're good.
But loading trucks and stuff like that, and then just, needed a full-time gig and just couldn't do it anymore, so I left. And like I said, I was working for CarMax and just got tired of the whole politics there. And I was doing a lot of traveling, opening up their new stores. As new stores would come up, I would go out and train their mechanics and teach them, the way that they did it. And just got fed up with all the time being gone. I mean, I'd be gone 3-4 months in a row and come home every 2 weekends. I would be home for a day and a half. So, wife got tired of it. I got tired of it. So started looking around. My dad told me my dad's been there since 1975. So he's been there quite some time. And he knew I was getting tired of all the travel. So he ended up coming over, and I've been there since 2017, February 2017.
Well, so putting it that way, then yeah, you might. I mean, I enjoyed working nights when I did it. But I mean, I know it's a weird shift, but at least you get to go home every night.
So I'm not on nights anymore. As of November of this past year, I got moved to days, and because we moved to a new hub. So there's a hub, the main hub in Charlotte, and then there's a secondary, what they call West Charlotte. And myself and 4 other guys moved over there. And the guy who has the most seniority has been on nights for 17 years. And he tried it for the first week. He's like, man, I just can't do it. And I said, I'm number 2. I'll take over. No problem, pal. So since then, I've been on days. So I'm there when you guys leave out first thing in the morning. My main role right now is doing, tractors, dollies, trailers, all that stuff, during the daytime for feeders. But, yeah, as soon as when you guys are rolling out, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get everything jumped off and get you guys up and rolling.
So how many like so if you're in the daytime, so are you in a pretty big center then? How many drivers do you guys have? Do you know like routes you guys run there?
I don't know routes. I know. Well, I guess it'll be the same as how many package cars we have because we only have 3 spares. So we have 200 package cars that run out of that center right now.
Damn. Shit. That's a big center.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I think we have.
Well, we're getting ready to go to once it's full capacity. They're saying 280 out of there. I mean, we're only using realistically 2/3 of the building right
Damn. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We have like I think 60 some routes where I'm at, and probably package car wise, I'd say that's in the 70s. That would be my guess. But yeah, that's a big center. Lot of. Hopefully, not a lot of struggle buses in that place.
Now there's a couple, but we're ADA in those bad boys. So I mean, like I said, I think we have 2, maybe 3 spares that actually run, but all the struggle buggies we tried to ADA right now.
That's what all the struggle buggies.
So take us back, like growing up though, born and raised, all of that good stuff. Siblings, any of that good stuff?
Oh yeah. So all right. So I was born in Charlotte, and we lived in Charlotte. So I was like 5. Then we moved to Mount Holly, where I lived until, like I said earlier, I lived there until last March, right before the whole COVID shutdown happened. Yep. So I lived in Mount Holly pretty much my whole life, which is just a small town outside of big city Charlotte. My dad, like I told you before, my dad's worked for the company since 1975. So I've been suckling on the tit since I was born. For almost my whole life. There's about 10 or 12 years there that I wasn't, but they've been pretty good to me as far as that goes. I mean, I've been married 16 years. We can talk about that in a little bit. I'll talk to you about how I met my wife and stuff. I got 3 brothers. I'm the oldest. The next brother that's closest to me in age actually works for the company. He just qualified through feeder school. Nice. So he's a feeder driver now. My oldest son is 23. And he worked for the company last week. But he's now in basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina for the Army.
Nice.
So
you're married 16 years, you said?
Yes, sir.
How'd you meet your wife?
16 November 2000. This is right before I started working as a mechanic. I worked in a printing shop.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, I was previously married. And so I come in for my initial interview, and she's the secretary, whatever you want to call it. She walks around the corner. She's like, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" Like I said, I'm married. This time, I'm like, "Wow, she's pretty hot." And I got thoughts running through my head. I'm like, "Whoa, dude, I'm married. I better chill out with this mess." But then things happened. Things happened. Not because of her, but I got separated and divorced from my wife at the time, my previous wife. And then her and I were always really close, like friends, talking back and forth and stuff like that. And once the separation and stuff was all, it all been gone through and stuff, and we were waiting on divorce papers and stuff, I said, "Hey, would you like to go on a date?" She just kind of laughed. I said, "Okay, that's pretty bad." So I waited a couple weeks, tried again, laughed again. I was like, "Okay." So then I told a friend of mine who I was living with, I said, "Man, if she says no this time, I got some things I'm going to say to her." And so I asked her again, and she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been serious the first 2 times. I'm still serious." So, we went out and we dated for about 3 years, and then we ended up getting married in August 2004. So.
Nice. That's awesome. Man, she was really making you push for that, huh?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, she was playing hard to get, but she says all the time, she really liked me the whole time, but she was just playing hard to get. So I was
like, yeah, I just had one of them moments. I think I brought that up on shout out to Lars on his episode when he said, I was like, because you were saying married, you're going to be married for 17 years. And I hear August 2004, and I still like it jumps back because that's when I was in college in, and I jump back and I'm like, that wasn't, oh shit. Yeah, it was. Fuck. I did, man. It just happened. I clicked in my head. I was like, man, has that been? Oh, yeah, wait. That has been almost 17 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I still feel like 1990 was like 10 years ago. So.
I know, right? It's so weird, man. It's weird to think that it's, I'll tell you what weirds me out more than probably anything in the subtle. When you go into like convenience stores or gas stations or whatever, and you see,
oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with it. When you see the age for alcohol, and I mean now in this state, you have to be 21 to buy tobacco products. They changed that. It's not 18 here anymore. They've changed it to 21, so it's 21 for everything now. But when I see 2000 on that, I'm just like, wow, man, that's crazy to look at. It just said, yeah, it really, that one kind of sticks out like son of a bitch. I remember it's like Y2K was that long ago? Shit, dude. Now, yeah, now it was.
Y2K.
I still remember that too.
Oh yeah, everybody was
freaked
out about Y2K.
Of the world. Here we go.
Like everything's set. All of it. What was it? Like everything was set for like the ending number was 19 or something, and like it was supposed to reset and just crash all the computers or something asinine. Thinking about it now, like
well, they had those commercials out at one point in time where, and it may have been after, but everybody was, they was going to hit the ATM and it was had like $5 million in their bank account because everything had reset, and I was banking on that. I was like, yeah, mess that up. Give me a lot more money.
God.
And then Will Smith made a living off of Y2K for somehow, right? With his Y2K song, remember that?
Dude, I feel like there was a lot of people that probably the powers that be were just like.
Did the Backstreet Boys have an album called Millennium?
What's that?
I said, didn't the Backstreet Boys have an album called Millennium?
Oh God, I don't know. I that was right. I've said that before. That was right in the wheelhouse for me. Being born in '84, dating girls and stuff. I had to put up with the boy bands. And but I don't remember if I heard it. I probably have heard it. I couldn't name you NSYNC or Backstreet Boys songs, but if you played it, I guaranteed I probably heard all of them, because that just was, I had to eat it. You had to. I mean, you had.
Oh, I know I have.
Yeah,
I know I have. My wife.
Girls didn't want to listen to Pantera. they didn't want to listen to Vulgar Display of Power. They didn't want to hear that shit.
Oh, no.
Unless you're Andy Von, right?
Yeah, unless you're Andy Von Six. Shout out to Andy. God bless it. Yeah, there's a woman that is a clerk at our building, and you would think she kind of looks like a surfer girl. You'd think she'd be into easy. Nah, she loves the hard shit. It's awesome. She loves Slipknot, loves Pantera, Machine Head, all that stuff. That's fucking, yeah. They're out there. Those fans, they're out there. They're out there.
So Greg, let me ask you, is because I'm pretty sure we all hear it from building to building from our mechanics is for instance, let me ask you this one, okay, real quick. Let me switch gears real quick. Do you get mad because you say you work the morning when all of us leave? You're there when all of us head out, right? Do you get mad when all of a sudden there's like fucking 5 trucks that roll up on you in the morning because some ass didn't write it up the night before? Come on.
No, so I don't know how it is in the buildings y'all are in, but our guys get there. The drivers actually get there probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it's a constant trickle. There'll be 1 or 2. Hey man, I forgot to write this up. Hey man, this is busted. Hey, can you take a look at this? My key fob's not working. Blah blah. So I know from the time of about 7:30 till roughly 9:30. I'm going to be balls to the wall moving.
Yeah.
So I already plan my day out. I come in, I start something out, start working on a dolly or whatever. And when it starts, I have an alarm for 7:30. I'm like, all right, stop doing this. So I get my little cart set up with battery key fobs and jump box and jumper cables. I have all that stuff set up so that when those guys start coming over, I'm ready to rock and roll with that part of it. And then when 9:30 comes and everybody's peeled out of the building, well, then that's when I go get me a little drink or whatever. I don't even breakfast or anything like that. So I'll drink like soda or coffee or whatever.
Yeah, like that happened, I think the other day, last Friday or something, when like 4 dudes rolled up on our mechanic. He just started throwing shit, wrenches, start fucking chucking across the shop. You know what I mean? It's like,
I try not to get that far. I've been that guy before, and I try not to be that guy anymore.
But you guys, you don't have. Dave, you don't have mechanic. Do you have day? You don't have day shift. Do you have day shift mechanics?
Yeah.
No shit. We don't. I don't think.
Yeah. No, that's why I asked you, Luke. Like, if
we have a we
your
have a
guys are
mechanic supervisor.
no, right. Like,
around.
that's why I asked you if you have mechanics that are like specific to working on, like how Greg said, when he's there, he's working on the tractors and the dollies and the trailers and all that shit. Cause that's what, those morning guys do. And then the guys that work the overnight are usually the ones that are working on the brownies.
Honestly, I'll have to ask that, but I'm pretty sure that the two guys we have, but that, I don't know, because the feeders go out at night. So it would make sense. Maybe we have like there are. We have one.
They're working on it when they're not.
We have a mechanic supervisor because when I've had shit break down during the day and called into the building, he's always the one I talk to. It's always Scott, and he's the supervisor.
Yeah,
I've never heard, but there could be. I don't know.
And I mean, they all. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Greg can work on a package car. You know what I mean? So like, they're all trained to do them all in a sense. There's just different shifts.
Oh yeah, well. If you look at our name, it's not even package or feeder or whatever. It's called Journeyman because you're going to work on whatever. It's going to be a journey. Yeah. You're going to work on everything because I was in package until I moved to days. I was a package mechanic from the time I first started as a mechanic up until this past November. I was a package mechanic.
Are there any pet peeves that drivers do? Like, do you guys deal with like any pet peeves? And you're like, really?
This ought to be good.
The biggest pet peeve I have, oh my God, is hey, my cradle's not working. Okay, what's not working about it? Well, the nav doesn't work. Okay, well, I don't take nav.
What do they want you to do? Fucking reprogram the
I'm glad you said that, man. And I just love that. I love that keeps getting brought up on. I love that. I love that because that is bullshit. I hate that. That shouldn't be. Yeah. What the fuck do they like? We had. I guess I don't know what the deal is. Like if you just. I guess we're like you're supposed to maybe have spares. I don't fucking know those things, but that's why I've been throwing on some.
The cradles or
cradles.
We don't. They won't give them to us. They won't give us like a surplus. It's that we got to take yours out because it's broke, and now I have to turn it in to whoever the supervisor is over here in the office, so they can send it back in through socks or something.
Dude, that's
and then
the
I have
same
to
way
wait
here.
for it to come back. So it's a 2-week process before I can get you your cradle back, so that you're not crying over there. Not saying you guys. There's a couple of guys in our center.
It is, and it's the fucking error of it that's going up.
I don't know how to read a map.
Yeah, dude, and they all have cell phones, dude. If you have Google Maps, you don't have to. You don't have to follow. All right, I'll say this to all the. God, we've said cradle babies and cradle babies so many times by now. If there's any of you listening, don't take that personal. But I'm just going to say Google Maps works, and you don't have to use navigation. You can do. Dude, this is what I did. What I had.
Unless you ain't got service where I am.
Yeah, I don't have service, but you know what I used to do, Dave? And this, you probably, you may have done this yourself. If you put on Google Maps and just screenshot while you do have service, just like the area, obviously you're not going to be able to use actual navigation, but you can have, like Greg said, it's not an old school map, but you have a layout. And you can that can work because that's the part that drives me crazy, dude, is that now and like the leniency towards it, like I ran so many routes in the blind, just got thrown out. I didn't, and that's what we called it, running in the blind, not having, like I was supposed to have somebody ride with me to train me. Something happened, call offs, whatever. Somebody couldn't fucking do it. And they're like, okay, you got to, and I just went and did it. And I struggled, and it fucking sucks. Everybody that did that would probably agree, but you learn. That's the way you learn it, man. It's not like that takes away. I feel like that would be like you as a mechanic. That I feel like what they're doing with us is, if we're calling us professional drivers, I feel like that would be like saying you as a mechanic, like somebody coming in and not being able to do a certain job. I'm just saying something basic. I'm not a car guy. Like say something like fucking change oil, because they don't have a certain kind of tool, like a better one or something like that's just weird. Like it's like I have a problem. Like they're taking away. You don't have to go. You don't get tested anymore in a standard manual transmissions. They don't even have them at driving schools anymore. So because they're all pretty much done. And that's whatever, but that's another thing. It just keeps getting less and less. I'm like, man, you still want to call yourself a professional? You got to be able to do some of this shit, and you can't rely on those fucking cradles because they don't like. We don't have a surplus.
Pro, you got to be pro level. You can't be down here at amateur hour. You're gonna be pro.
Yeah, man, that's the thing, dude. If that's what you're going to do, and you're supposed to call yourself a professional, but fucking sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you just got to, I mean, yeah, you have a cell phone. You have a fucking phone. That's all I'll say. I'm not going, I could rant about that all day.
I ask them all the time, like, well, how do you get anywhere else? Well, I use navigation on my phone. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't work in the truck. And they kind of like, oh, yeah, I forgot your navigation on your phone doesn't work in your truck. That's but when you call me because you're broke down or you've run out of gas and this is your sixth time, all I'm going to get from you is an address, and I'm going to use my phone in that same truck. And I'm
run out of gas? Really? You've had to deal with that?
Same driver. Driver.
Dude, I've seen drivers
multiple times. No.
Yeah, he's full. Yeah, and so we don't have at our center we don't have a fuel island on property. We're not allowed to. So there's a truck stop, a Love's truck stop, less than a half a mile from the building. They're supposed to fill up every day when they come back in. Yeah, that's the last thing to do. Which I understand, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get back home. I don't want to stop and get gas. I'll do it first thing in the morning. But there's one guy in particular that has run out of gas 6 times since November.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a part of your fucking pre-trip. Jesus Christ.
Oh, one guy went the opposite way from the gas station, 1/4 of a mile, and ran out of gas. And I'm like, dude, you could have went the other way, 1/4 of a mile, and filled it up. You knew you were about out. Well, I thought I could get it and make my air. Okay.
So how like that would frustrate me personally if like I was a mechanic and I was you get, just like everybody does on any job, you get in the zone. You know what I mean? So you're focused.
Oh, yeah.
You're focused in there. You know what's going on. You know what you got to do this, to do that. Like I would get so mad if I was a mechanic when that phone rings and you go and answer it and they're like, "Oh, I'm broken down and this," or even more stupid, "I just ran out of gas." And now they send
they don't tell you that at first.
Right.
They don't tell me that at first.
Of course. But then they send you out and now you got to break off doing whatever you're doing because you're in the zone, you're going, you got your music on, whatever, you know what I mean? And you're loving it. And then all of a sudden you're like, I got to go fucking help this guy now. Like that must piss you off, right? That's got to be like irritating.
Well, okay. So I don't know.
Especially the gas thing.
I don't really get pissed off. I look at it like, so in my job, I'm stuck inside the building all the time. I'm always there. So when I get the call, as long as it's not, 10 minutes before I'm supposed to leave, I'm down to leave. That's windshield time. That's easy money. I mean, I got to go drive out here for 30 minutes to come out here and swap your truck out. Okay. So that's an hour of just, easy time for me. Sure. You know what I mean? It's kind of a break or whatever. So, but when it's the same, when it's repeatedly the same issue with the same one person, that kind of gets aggravating. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand everybody, will run out of gas at some point. I thought I could make it, or they get into a rush. Like you said, you get into the zone and you're trying to get it done. Well, I'm going to stop at the gas station up here, and then, you don't make it. So I understand that, because most of the time on these trucks, if you get on a slight incline either way and you're at, just below a quarter of a tank.
That's a good point.
So you're not going to get the truck started because all the fuel goes to away from the pump because the pump is dead center.
Good point.
So I've had quite a few of those, but
I gotta go back real quick to the guy that said he thought he could make his air and he went 1/4 of a mile and it ran out. So he was aware that he was on E and he wanted to try to make his air. I mean, that's 1/4 mile. So that thing is on the flat. I mean, that's as low as it fucking gets, man. I'm dying right now.
He calls and he's like, "Hey, man, the truck just cut off." I'm like, "Well, what did you do?" But I was just driving and it just cut off. I said, well, what's your fuel gauge reading? 7%. I was like, so you're out of fuel. He's like, well, it's reading 7. I'm like, okay. So I get out there taking 2 gallons of gas, put it in the tank, it fires right up. I said, don't go anywhere. You turn around and follow me, and then you go back to the fueling station that is a half a mile now away and go fuel it up, because if not, you're going to call me again because you get on an incline or something, and it's like, my truck just cut off. So again.
Oh, Jesus
dude, that one kills me. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But for the most part, man, I mean, if I get a roll call or something, oh man, I'm loving life.
Good.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, you get to get out, and like you said, going out and SWAT. That's easy time.
Like
I call that windshield time.
I like it.
Like growing up, Jesus Christ, no. When I wasn't a full-time driver and I was just a cover driver, and I didn't have my full-time route, and you're getting swapped from truck to truck to truck to truck, like every day because you're on a different route or whatever. Like I always felt like I was pissing the mechanic off. Like I had to call him, like, listen, this has happened, a truck, this, whatever. Like for instance, like I didn't run out of gas, but I was driving a standard 1000 and I was parked on an incline and the truck wouldn't start for some odd fucking reason. And I can't remember what the issue was, but it wasn't gas. I promise it was not gas. And
right.
And it was something where like I'm trying to remember like what he did, but the mechanic had to come all the way out there, and I felt so bad. I'm like, dude, sorry, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you're saying like you're like, this is nice, stretch it out a little bit, relax, and
yeah. See, he wasn't feeling. See, you apologize, and he was probably like, "Oh, dude, you don't know." He was thinking to himself, "Shit, you know, I mean nothing." But he probably still accepted it. I would have. I was him. Like, yeah,
there's been times that I've gotten called out 10 minutes before I'm supposed to punch out. And then I get out there, and so we swap, you know, how to, you know, we get out there, I help the guys swap it out, you know, hey, whatever on this truck's got to go to this truck, whatever. And then I've tried to limp the truck back and make it about a half of a mile and have to call a tow truck. I've sat in the truck waiting on a tow for 2.5 hours. So
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
That's Netflix time or Disney Plus or Instagram time or whatever. I mean, I'm getting paid the same.
We have a contract with a towing company here, and man, when where I'm at now, they're right beside me if I would need them. So for me, it's fine now. But God, there was a couple times when I was still all over the place, and I would be in routes that were like an hour away. And I knew, like, and you know, if they were busy, especially because if the weather's bad, you know what I mean? They were going to be busy anyway. God, yeah, I've had to wait. I don't know if I've got 2 hours, but I think I've got close to it. Just sitting there waiting for a tow before. So yeah, waiting on that tow truck, man. That can be I mean, that's easy money though, for real. I mean, it's not like it's hardware, but you know, it's just literally collecting the time.
Well, if it was 15 years ago when you didn't have smartphones and couldn't download everything, I would hate my life. Because then you're just sitting there bored out of your mind. I mean, what are you going to do? Start over here looking for 4-leaf clovers or something? Instead of, instead I can sit here, I can call my wife, or I can FaceTime the kids, or I can watch, Netflix or whatever.
Sure.
But 15, 20 years ago? Oh, nah, I would hate it.
Yeah, if you're just sitting there, then hopefully have a newspaper.
Yeah. Sweating to death and no entertainment. And you're just like, this below.
Well, I got one more question for you, and this really isn't work related because I'm just curious because I said I've been to Charlotte a few times, love it down there. I've always had a good time. Is Whiskey River still a bar down there? Do you know what I'm talking about? The bar was called. I haven't been there like probably since 2009. I might be even shut down.
You talking about Dale Jr.'s old bar?
Man, maybe.
I think it was owned by Dale Jr. I think it was.
It was called Whiskey River. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on Tryon Street, I believe. To be honest with you, I haven't been downtown Charlotte in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I don't drink anymore, so I mean, I'm not going out partying. And into that anymore. Well, I know 7-8 years ago, yeah, it was still there.
That's all. I wouldn't even, for me now to do it, I would be to that literally. So when I went there, the last time I was there, I was 24, and I was, that literally was, I'll say that real fast. That was the worst hangover I ever had in my life. And sorry, I just had something fly in my mouth. I don't know what the fuck that was, but
fuck.
That when West Virginia wildlife, who knows, buzzing around here. But so what had happened? I'd blacked out. I just graduated college, so we had played. West Virginia was in a bowl game. We were playing in Charlotte, and that's why I was down there. And dude, I went to Whiskey River. They told my buddy, said they said bouncers. He was in front of me. He was behind me. And he said, that fucking one bouncer said, nope, that guy's not coming in. And he said, what the hell's wrong? He said, he turned around and I was just face first on the floor. So the people behind me said they asked for my ID. So I handed them I had my ID in my hand like this. And I literally fell forward and face planted going. I mean, I was in there the night before too. And I mean, I was bedridden the next day. That was literally, I never felt worse in my life, but that was the last time I'd been to Charlotte. And if I couldn't do that now. I don't really drink like that anymore. I mean, I tie it on from time to time, but geez, if I did it like that, I'd have to have a week recovery time. But yeah, that was all. I was just curious if that place was still up and running or not.
All right. So
I'm sure, I don't know that is. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I mean, downtown Charlotte has changed immensely over the past few years. I mean, they now have this thing called Center City, and it's everything that you could possibly want is there. I mean, they got movie theaters, restaurants, bars. I mean, it's all in one centralized location. I mean, you still have your kind of your outliers of smaller things or whatever, but all like the big time stuff is all right there in the middle of downtown called Center City.
I gotcha.
All right, so we're gonna get to the question of the week, and I'm not sure. All right, let me see here. There it is. So the question of the week, guys, this week was, what is your go-to lunch meal? We thought this would be a fun one because just seeing what people are eating. We're not gonna rag on you if you get McDonald's every day. You know what I mean? I mean, that sounds good, but.
It might not be healthy, but it does sound good. I mean, fucking, I would eat McDonald's every day if it, wouldn't fucking kill me.
Exactly.
Make me weigh 400 pounds, but
so,
if you want to do it, eat it.
So we got a few. So let's go through them and see what our guests have to say and our followers have to say here. This one's from John Shomo. Says New York steak grilled salad. I mean, that sounds good. With some grilled steak and a salad on it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yep. This one was from last week's guest. This one's from Corey Wagner. Says, I like shrimp, potatoes, baby corn, and olives, and rice cakes with almond butter.
Damn. Wow. That seems like that's an ensemble of shit right there.
And I mean,
you eat that for lunch and then have to go back to work? No, that's nap time after that.
Right.
I mean, she is a feeder driver. I don't know. Next one here is from my co-host over here. Luke says, "Pickled motherfucking eggs, baby," or would it be pickled motherfucking eggs, baby?
Well, I don't get them as much, but man, I could live off of I could live off of pickled eggs. I could live off of hard-boiled eggs, but yeah, I do. I love. Quick thing, there's an Amish store that's on the route that I'm on, and I mean they got mustard pickled eggs, they got jalapeno pickled eggs, I got the red beet pickled eggs. I mean, it's like my kid in a candy store in there. But I don't. I've cut back. I've cut back.
You need to come down here. We got pickled everything in the gas station: eggs, pigs' feet. I mean, anything you can think of is either pickled or fried during the gas station.
Shit,
Luke's on his way.
That's why I love North Carolina, man. I've never had a bad time in North Carolina. I love that place.
All right, next one here is from Tony Cook at Upsman3010 says, same thing every day. LOL, big salad with grilled chicken and a cup of fruit for dessert. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. This one here is from the Roland Rogan. It says, when I worked at the company, my go-to was a Wawa in South Jersey. Wawa Arnold Palmer. Oh my God, I just had a stroke. Wawa Arnold Palmer tea lemonade drink with chicken salad sandwich. The best part, a big chocolate chip cookie that I would leave on the dash and warm up in the sun for ooey gooey goodness, like it was fresh baked.
You know, I've never been to a Wawa before because we don't have them. Right? We Sheets is what is around here kind of regionally, but I've seen them before in passing when in travel, but I've never actually been.
I mean, they're right next door to you in Maryland and Delaware, and
I don't really go to Maryland and Delaware. I normally go west. I just keep. I mean, it's West Virginia. It's just naturally for us to veer west.
This next one here is from Cam Sawa. It says, two sandwiches. Holy shit. 2 sandwiches, an apple, banana, protein bars, peanut butter crackers, 2 fruit cups, nut mix, tuna packs, and a gallon of water. And repeat the next day. Buddy, that's a lot. Oh my
Who is it? Who was this again?
Cam Sawa.
Oh, dude, yeah, I thought that's how you said Cam. I've seen his Insta story. He does have a bunch of shit.
Dude, I know he just kept going out on all the pockets on his lunchbox and shit, pulling out extra shit. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did, man. Cam got high metabolism. He eats more than I do out there.
I mean, that is a lot of good. I mean, it's really not that bad. Crackers, cups, fruit cups, nut mix.
Yeah, no, I guess when I think of my diet, it's just
gallon of water, protein bars, it's apple, banana. It's really it's a lot of variety. Yeah, right. It's a variety, but a lot of that stuff's good for you. Absolutely. This next one here, shout out Cam Sawa. Way to be, bud. Next one here is from B-Dub1180. Says, bring my lunch and find a shady tree. Find a shade tree. Summer is usually a salad, veggies, yogurt, and a sparkling ice black raspberry drink. But winter is a peanut butter banana sandwich, chips, yogurt, and a bang. Maybe on Fridays I'll treat myself to some taco truck.
Yeah. That'd be dangerous.
All right. I can get down with a taco truck.
Taco truck would be dangerous though.
Wasted 20 says, what the hell is lunch?
I love that.
It's in the contract, bro. Take it.
Well, yeah, I know. But he said when they said that, I'd laugh because I do. There's that always gets brought up. That gets the debate.
Don't short your lunch because then they're going to take advantage of you. This one here is from Tyson. It says turkey and cheese sandwich every day for years. Isn't it funny how we can eat the same stuff though, like every day, and just like it's just routine to us, and like we don't think of it like again, like this is annoying eating this again.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I normally
for me,
I eat Subway a lot too because it's nearby where I'm at, and it's been one of the places. Like there's fast food places, but because of COVID, I wouldn't been able to actually go in and sit. And I don't really sit in Subway either, but I just because I can't go through a drive-through in a truck, you know what I mean? So I've gone to Subway a lot, and I've repetitive. But yeah, you're right there. Just to say repetitive, it's funny how you could.
Yeah. Next one is from Those Three Dudes podcast. Says peanut butter sandwiches. Peanut butter is a popular choice so far. I'm seeing this. This one's from PNW_Upsman. Says depends on the route. If I'm in town, it's taco trucks. If I'm in the country, it's a protein shake or meal replacement bar and maybe some fruit I get from a local farmer. So we got peanut butter sandwiches and taco trucks right now. And
my stomach, I must be getting old. My stomach must be fucking weak because I'm telling you, you think taco trucks, I'm not. I'm just sitting there thinking I'm about to go shit in the woods somewhere. That's what I'm
telling you right now. Taco trucks, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, I know.
You're rolling the dice in the middle of the day.
Out on the route, or that shit's gonna hit you. Like,
right?
Yeah. Somebody's losing a sock after that.
You're gonna be needing a DR bag for that one. This one's from Swollen Gorilla. What a fucking name.
Swollen Gorilla.
This is from Swollen Gorilla. It says Lunchables.
So Swollen Gorilla, Gorilla eats Lunchables. That's a hell of a. I don't.
He probably got kids.
The IG name is great because I have no idea. You hear Swollen Gorilla.
I mean, he's pretty jacked. He's pretty jacked.
So yeah, that's funny. Well, fucking Lunchables obviously fucking, or they got protein and shit in them too.
Dude, that's fucking funny.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
We still got a few more here. This is from Real Time Fishing _Mass says, I just go with a salad with 1 pound of chicken, tomatoes, sharp cheddar, and a good balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh, I love balsamic.
Yeah, yes, that's true. This one here is from Toast Cookies. Says, I noticed that if I pack a lunch, it's always gone the first hour of my shift. Even if I'm not hungry, I'll just eat. I'll just eat it because nothing better to do in the feeder cab. So I just stopped packing anything and only eat at home or get a flying slice of pizza if I am ridiculously hungry. A Flying J slice of pizza? Is this a
Flying J? Yeah, it's truck stop.
What? Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know.
Flying J is a truck stop, kind of like your Love truck stop or Pilot or whatever. Flying J.
Gotcha. I've never heard of that up here in New York. This one here is from Craft Beer Snob. Jesus Christ. Craft Beer Snob says, during the week, it's a sandwich I make from home. On Friday, I buy, and it can be burger, pizza, or Mexican food. Okay. All right. Got to treat yourself to the end of the week, I guess. This one here is from Banana Man. Says, bacon cheeseburger with an egg over easy.
Oh, yeah. That's a man after my heart right there.
There you go, man. A couple more here. This one's from the Henry Film Co. Says, PB&J, 6 years strong. Peanut butter and jelly for 6 years. Last but not least here, Rick Balk. God damn it. I butchered this guy's name last week. Rick says, ham sandwich, chips, and a drink at my kitchen table. So at his kitchen table, so he must deliver on his route, or he must live on his route. Must be delivered to his house, is where I'd go with that one. Let me see here. We also got a couple from Facebook as well. Let me ask you, Greg, what's yours?
I pack my lunch most of the time, but on Fridays, sorry, the dogs are going to hurt my wife.
That's okay.
On Fridays, I usually treat myself. I usually try to meet the wife, but she just works one exit up from where I work at. So our favorite place to go is the old bowling alley.
Okay.
Got a grill in there, and it's really not good for you, but it's amazing.
There you go. Absolutely.
Little bacon,
like the hidden gem, huh? Inside the bowling
bacon cheeseburger, and pretty fantastic. They got tater tots and sweet tea, which is all of it's good. I mean, it's made by old ladies in there. That's all they do is they cook at the grill. So
that's sick.
That's and normally when it's stuff places like that, normally it is the best food, best tasting shit, man. It is, dude. There's a couple places here that I can think of, like it's kind of just the way you described it, exact same thing, and the food's amazing.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So we got a few from Facebook here. This one's from Sean Avery. Says, in 23 plus years, I've only bought lunch on the road a few times. I always pack my cooler with a banana, protein bar, a sandwich of some sort, a salad, and a meal to microwave somewhere. It's not as fun, but it costs less.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the whole reason why I take my lunch.
23 plus years.
$8, $9 a day.
Yeah, it adds up, dude, because I have a bad habit. I have a very bad habit of that. And it's like, even if you spend a little bit of money, but you do it, if you do that twice a day, then you think 5 times. I mean, yeah, that shit it adds up.
Oh, it's $50 to $100 if you do it twice a day. It's $50. You figure $8 to $10 a day. That's $50 a week. So you're talking $200 a month if you're spending just for one meal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. This I got a few more, couple here. This one says from Andrew Webb, says ham and cheese or turkey sandwich and peanut butter and vanilla wafers. Bringing out the wafers.
Oh yeah,
I haven't had a vanilla wafer forever.
Me either.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that just put some nostalgia in my mind.
I was 10, I think, the last time I had one. Last but not least.
That's the last time I had them.
Yeah, right. Last but not least, this one here is from good buddy of mine, John Waddell, out my center, says tried and true PB&J is his go-to.
Well,
thank you guys for your lunch recommendations.
I followed back Swollen Gorilla, and I just want to give him a shout out saying that the Lunchables are solid, but the name, that you want to talk about it is. I died because I think on the podcast page I saw it. I hadn't seen his profile. Like, I just knew the name, and that's so funny because it's just it added. It's good for some comedic humor. But yeah, they are good though. Fuck, they are good.
I usually have two. It's either a cold cut sandwich or it's a tuna wrap. I enjoy my tuna sandwich.
I do. I love tuna. I love tuna wraps.
Throw some lettuce, some salt and pepper on there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, Luke, do you have anything else for our guest?
I think we about covered everything. Other than, like I normally say, Greg, we appreciate you coming on, man, and it's glad it worked out. We were able to get it done today, and yeah, brother.
Sorry for rescheduling last minute there. That's my fault.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, I talked to Luke, quite a bit before this, and so
awesome. Nice. You know what?
I have all the podcasts.
Thank you for that. And I have one question for you, okay? Because we usually ask our drivers, their best helper stories. So let me ask you, as a mechanic, what's the worst thing you have found in either a tractor or a package car when you're working on it? There's probably piss bottles. I'm sure you found piss bottles before, right? Right?
Oh yeah.
That goes without saying.
Yeah. Like, have you ever found something else and you're just like, what the fuck?
Not just your normal piss bottles, but I have found quite a few weapons in the truck.
Oh, shit.
Like, I mean, I don't know where these guys are delivering at, but I mean, you got the fat end of a pool cue in one. I've found, numerous pocket knives, chains. It's just like, where are you guys delivering at that you need all these weapons? I mean, I guess it's for dogs or whatever. But
yeah.
As far as anything weird that I've found, I found a rotten banana. I thought, chicken wings that the driver's eating while he's running down the road and just throws and misses the trash can, and they sit there all weekend. And you come in on Monday,
that's gross.
And I just want to say too, with the piss bottle thing, is that Amazon, they're big wigs up the corporate ladder. They made that like news. I don't know if it was a press release thinking. They said, like, I literally saw, they were like, you don't think that actually happens, do you? And I'm like, who in the fuck are these people trying to fool? I was like, every single person that is affiliated. Now I know percentage wise, if you count the whole country population, I know that doesn't make to a very big percentage of the population, but I was like, there's enough people that do. Like, I laughed so hard. I was like, these motherfuckers. I was like, this is literally fake news right in front of our faces. Because it's like, they're lying. They're fucking lying. Oh God.
And last but not least, Greg, do you have any questions for us? Is there anything that you like to ask?
Let's see. So we'll just keep it kind of mechanic related. So what's the thing you guys write up the most, or that bothers you the most about the truck as you're driving it? Does that make sense?
I got it right. Yeah, I got it right off the top of my head. It's going to be the memory clips on the mirrors. That motherfucker runs out so
the mirror free?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most annoying thing. It's at least once a month for me. At least once a month, because they teach us every time we stop to pull the mirror in. If we stop on the side of the road, we're supposed to pull the mirror in and shit, so no one drives by and clips it. So that thing's constantly just always opening and closing and shit. That's probably the most annoying one, because it's just constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say anything like overall, but I can just say for a recent thing, and this goes back to with you guys having a limited amount of resources they allow you to have, because I had tires, and luckily I got new ones, but I had these tires that were bald. I mean, they looked like NASCAR tires. They were bad. So I'm going up this driveway. I'll just say this real quick. It was raining. I mean, it wasn't winter time yet. It was probably it was 50 some degrees, but it's raining. I'm trying to go up this driveway, and it's different kind of, but it just like I'm spinning going up, and I look at the corner of the mirrors, and I'm thinking maybe I'm in the grass, one of the sides, and no, I'm just on. I mean, dude, those tires were fucking bald, and I was like, so I wrote them up, and so mechanic, the guy that I know well, he said, yeah, it's gonna be a while with them tires because they're not letting us order any. And I was like, dude, these things are fucking bad. I was like, once wintertime comes, if I don't have these things, dude, I'm fucked. I was like, if I have, because I was like, I would literally have to, because I don't have to, if I have decent tires on, I wouldn't have to put chains on for little spots. But I was like, dude, I can't go up roads that are wet right now, almost, like if it's an incline's high enough. And so they got replaced right before Christmas, but I mean, I remember just sweating. So that was it. And yeah, I mean, really, that was the only thing I could think of that, but overall, like I said earlier, my it's always been good with me. So yeah, I can't think of anything offhand other than that.
Good. Cool. All right. Well, hey, Greg, thank you for joining us today, dude. And, this was awesome having on our first mechanic, and hopefully have on a couple more too in the future. So awesome, guys. Real quick too, Greg, where can people follow you? You got Instagram, I think, right?
Yeah, I got Instagram. I mean, I'm not real huge on it. It's slow_lane_racing on Instagram. I don't Facebook. That's the only thing I don't really post a whole lot of work stuff on there. I mean,
yeah,
it's more just private thing,
okay,
personal page, really.
Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, listen, be safe out there when you're out there delivering, guys, and whatever you're doing, continue delivering greatness. All right, Greg, thank you again for joining us, dude. And Luke, everybody, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.